Grow Great is a city government leadership podcast with Lisa Norris and me, Randy Cantrell. Each week we share insights, experiences, and wisdom to help you and your leadership grow great. Our website is growgreat.com.
Well, Randy, as you know, I've just been sitting around for the last year and a half, twiddling my thumbs, hoping I could
doing
find
a whole
something
bunch
to
of
do.
nothing.
Yeah, just waiting for the next project, waiting for something to come down the path. So I
Yeah.
have something to work on in the
Right.
12 hours a day that I'm working.
Yeah.
So no, I thought we'd pull back the curtains. We haven't done that in a while. We've been talking about leadership topics, and it's funny because often when we pull back the curtains and just talk about fun stuff, sometimes that's a big draw for some reason. I don't know why, but you said inevitably it's always been in your podcasting
Yeah.
world.
Yeah. People like it.
I guess they can relate. It just gives a personal look.
Yeah. They
but I
enjoy
thought-
other people's misery, I think. Is
that what it is?
Yeah. I think that's the thing. It's like, oh, good. Their life sucks
good.
too. So that makes me feel better.
Okay, I like it. Well, here it is, May 8th. Yesterday, Randy became 1 year older. I sent him a meme with a cake on fire and Superman behind it. And I said, to the best coach ever, don't burn your house down with all the flames coming off of the cake.
Yeah.
So you had a birthday and you're a young, I don't know, what are you now?
68.
68.
68. I'm circling the drain fast, man. I'm spinning in circles and going down the
do
drain
you guys
fast.
do you do something fun to celebrate birthdays? Because you're a simpleton. So
Yeah, I'm
is it
a
just
super
spending time with
simpleton.
Rhonda and
Yeah, we went and had lunch together. We went to a seafood place, and I had a catfish sandwich, and she ate her usual shrimp stuff, and that's about the only
Dawn
seafood.
loves shrimp?
About the only seafood she'll eat.
Yeah.
She bought me a carrot cake. I sent you a picture of.
It's not just a cake. That looked like it was it had to be a foot tall. How tall was
No,
it?
it is tall. When she ordered it, she said, "Yeah, they said 6 or 9 inch," and she said, "Yeah, 6 inch." Now she didn't know that it would be like 14 layers high. I don't. It's not.
It was huge.
It's
it was
not.
a tall cake.
It's.
Seriously, it had to be 8 inches.
Yeah, it was 8 inches tall. It was
Yeah.
easily 8 inches, so six inches in diameter. Yeah, huge. And it was like we stared at it for about 15 minutes trying to figure out how to even cut the thing. That's
Is it going to fall over when you take the first
Yeah.
slice?
so she started to cut it horizontally.
Oh.
We were like, I don't even know how to attack this thing, So that was about it,
And it was carrot cake, right?
Yep, carrot cake.
Yeah, I love carrot cake.
Yeah, I like carrot cake. So we did that, and
Okay.
that was about it. Watched the Dallas Stars, win a hockey game, which was all good.
Yeah. Well, you're a hockey fan. You love your hockey.
Yeah, I don't. My dad called me early in the morning.
Okay.
He's, as most people who've been listening know, he's pushing 102 in September. And so he called to wish me a happy birthday. And that was his usual obligatory 30-second phone conversation. This is not a man who does phone. He does not do. Yeah. I am my father's son, but there's an awful lot of things that are very different about us.
So do the grandkids call you or do cards or
no.
how do they?
Oh, well, one group
They're
of
like, what, you had a birthday, Papa?
Yeah, one group of grandkids did. The other group, they don't even know what day of the week it is. So, no, it's not a big deal. It's not. My expectations for birthdays are ridiculously low because I just don't. I don't know. I'm not real fond of being the center of attention anyway about it.
No, you're not.
So most people don't even know. So thanks for outing me on it.
Yeah, of course. I
Yeah.
want everybody to know and make you
Yeah.
really uncomfortable for a change, like you do me.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, Dawn's birthday is on the 10th. And so, but it's Mother's Day. This is always the problem.
Uh-huh.
It's Mother's Day. So he focuses on me.
Yeah.
And most of the time I forget that it's his birthday also, because I'm horrible about birthdays generally. If you talk to any of my kids, I
Yeah.
think that's why Haley goes above and beyond and just goes all out on birthdays for her kids, because I forgot hers most of the time.
Yeah.
It's like you have 3 kids, it's survival of the fittest.
Yeah, Haley's
And
your
birthdays
daughter.
was the last thing.
Yeah.
Haley is my daughter. She's also an HR director at the city of Burnett. And so she's followed in her mama's footsteps, but it's funny. And said, of course, Don, he's like you. He's like, babe, I know you're gonna worry about my birthday. Please do not get me anything. I am just fine being at the land with you.
Yeah.
Our son and daughter-in-law are coming up, Donnie and Lauren. They haven't been to the land yet. He's our middle child, and his wife. They live in Plano, Texas, and so they're coming up this weekend.
There you
And
go.
Don's like, please do not get me anything. I said, I'm stressing about what I need to get you because I'm working. I don't know what to get you, and I can't
see,
order
I don't have to
Amazon
say that
because he
to
gets
anybody.
notices. He gets notices on everything I order.
Yeah,
So
of
not
course he
only can I
does.
not order Amazon, which is so convenient,
Yeah.
he's like, I won't look. And I'm like, but you get the notices. It's like,
Right.
yeah, she ordered you 2 Magellan shirts, or she ordered you
Yeah.
shoes, or
Right.
whatever.
Right.
But it's funny. So we've got that going on. Mother's Day, I'm the same way. I'm like, kids, you do not need to send cookies. You do not need to send flowers. A phone call's fine. Like,
Yeah.
that's fine. If we want to do something 10 weeks from now, I don't, I'm just simple. I don't need
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
I know they love me. Even if I didn't get a phone call, it's not personal. I'm just not like that. I don't take things
Yeah.
personal.
Well, we
But
don't.
there's a lot
yeah,
happening
we
in
don't
May, and
either.
Haley's husband's birthday is the 9th.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we
We've
have a
got a bunch of
birthday.
people in May that are.
You do too.
that have
I've got
birthdays,
my
yeah.
grandson. He's in May. I've got Brandon, my youngest son. He's in May. So we've got a lot of May birthdays happening.
Yeah. The difference in my family and your family is so Don tells you, no, listen, don't make a big deal. And you're saying, no, don't. We don't have to do that in my family because they don't make a big deal.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm like Rhonda, Mother's Day, it's going to be me. It's going to be me. She's probably not going to hear from anybody else about it.
Yeah.
I know the one group of grandkids, the 2 oldest, their dad's all over it.
Yeah.
So, so that'll happen. I got a card from them and I got a
Yeah.
card from Rhonda, and that's it. That's
Yeah.
fine. It's all
Yeah.
good. It's just kind of funny. But I've told you before, I'm a hopeless romantic and very sentimental.
See, and I'm not sentimental at all. Like that's not a trait that's
Well, I'm the outlier.
bred into me.
Yeah, I'm the outlier. I don't know where I got it, but I got it. Nobody else has it.
Don is super, not only is he sentimental, but he's so compassionate that I feel confident. I couldn't tell you he does it, but I feel confident that he tells the kids, you better call your mom before 5 o'clock or something. I don't know what he
Right.
says.
Yeah.
But I suspect
threatens
because
them.
I always get a phone call and they try to come in typically about the same time.
Right.
Like, oh God, it's Mother's
Right.
Day.
Yeah. Yeah. Which means
But-
Don's made the text or the phone calls and
I
said, y'all better.
suspect.
Yeah.
I don't know if he does or not, but I
Yeah.
suspect it. But that goes into it. I was thinking about it, and as we were talking about, hey, what do we talk about for today's show? There's all these things that are happening, but it is a kind of a moment of self-care. Like for a moment, when do you take care of you? Like you're taking care of probably Rhonda's birthday. You're high sentimental. Don is high sentimental, wants to make sure I'm taken care of. I don't think he cares about whether he's taken care of. Like that's not something that's pressing on his mind. He's
Yep.
always worrying about, Lisa, are you getting sleep? Lisa, do you need to take a day off? Lisa, I've got your
can
dinner
relate.
ready. Yeah, because the
Yeah.
other day I've been working these long, I'm typically getting in about 6:45 now, working until about 7 at night because of this project I'm on. And then it'll be that way for in the next 12 to 15 months probably. But I remember I had to work late and we had council. And so that already goes till 8:39 typically. Sometimes we get out sooner. And then we had our city manager's office said, hey, can we go out after council? We try to get together just for, just camaraderie. And we go
Yeah.
to Torchy's, which is a place I love. So we kind of did that afterwards. So I was getting home late and I get home and he could have been sleeping. He's like, hey, I went and got your favorite salad from Chick-fil-A. So you have lunch tomorrow. It's in the fridge. I'm like, dang it, I didn't do anything for you.
Yeah.
But and he's like, no, I didn't eat. I had a big lunch. And
Right.
but he just it's It's
so
so
you're
nice
saying
to-
he's more thoughtful than you are.
He is definitely more. I do not have
Yeah.
that. You know, I laugh. You know, I think many people in our audience know Lauren Safranek. She and I laugh all the time because that is not first of mind for us. We
Yeah.
are not. We are not high. I don't think, and I don't think I'm outing her. I think she'd admit
No.
to this.
Oh, she would
Not
own
high
it.
compassion. We're direct. You
Yes.
know, it's just like get it done and let's get. Why are you complaining? Let's just move through the day and just do your job and let's go.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
And Don is so, I mean, he's right now, he's been retired from Broadridge for, I don't know, 3 years now.
Yeah.
He's helping a guy that just came back that used to work for him, helping him, went to lunch with him,
Mhm.
helping him with supervisory things, telling him what the teams should or shouldn't be doing and the excuses they're having. He's walking them. Like he's
Mhm.
just, he
Yeah, he's
keeps
coaching.
friends forever.
Yep.
But he's got high school for, I couldn't name 5 people in my high school. Much less a year ago that I met,
Uh-huh.
you know, but
Yeah.
he's just got this way about him. So anyway, but he's always kind of thinking about me. And anyway, all that to be said is we're moving through these times of whether it's a birthday, whether it's an anniversary. I don't know about you. There are times I just need to decompress and take a breath,
Mhm.
right? And take some time for ourselves. And I think to me, while we celebrate these things that are naturally happening in our lives, anniversaries, birthdays, it's important we take time for ourselves. I've had people say, I can't take a day off. I can't. I don't struggle with that as much. Like this coming Monday, I had some free time and the long days. And I said, you know what? I've only got 3 meetings and all of them can be moved. I'm taking off. And I told
Mhm.
Don, I just need to sleep. Last weekend, I was exhausted, and I said, and we had family up at the land in Oklahoma. It was my youngest son, his wife, and the 2 grandgirls. And I looked at him. I said, guys, I can't play Lily this weekend, which is Lily's my grandma name. I said, I can't do it this weekend. I just need to rest. So I'm gonna get up. I'm probably gonna get up late. Don't worry about breakfast. And they're all like, okay, no problem. And they were great. And I slept, I think I went to bed like at 9:30. They were all up. I can't remember if the stars were on. It was a Saturday and a Friday night and then a Saturday night. And I think I slept till 9 both days, like 9:30 to 9 out. And I got up and I walk up and they're like, hey, Don's like, hey girl. You know, when I come out for coffee.
Yeah.
And he's like, I'll get you coffee. I got your shake. You know, we do protein shakes and you just have to replenish and re-energize and get your body set to be at your best. And I guess that's my point. Celebrate what works for you. Take time for yourself, even if it's minutes. And don't say you can't take time off because that's going to relay to your team too. If you don't take off, they're not going to feel like they can take off. And we want to support them in that. But self-care is critical.
Well, that's the
Mentally,
problem.
too.
Yeah, that's the problem is you don't know when you're going to be called upon, to to step up. Hopefully as high performers, we're always stepping up, but come on, there are times of greater intensity than others. So a week ago, I get a text from my son that the youngest grandson, his appendix ruptured. He's 9. So they had taken him to Cook's Children, downtown Fort Worth. And, surgery was obviously imminent. And I just texted him. I just got this sense because I have spidey senses like that.
Yeah, and this is not a guy that has a lot of drama in the family.
Oh no, this is low.
You explained. I think that's important to know.
Yeah, this is super low drama, and this is not my son is not a. He's not a needy, not a needy guy, and I just for some
not a
reason
worrier.
No, and I texted back. I could just sense that he was more worried than he was letting on, and I said, "Do you need me to head that way?" I was in Arkansas. You need me to head that way? And he said, yes, please. And of course,
without hesitation.
Yeah. Within an hour, I was packed and hoofing it, hoofing it back there to take care of the other 2 grandkids, so sometimes you're going to need to do that. Well,
And you shouldn't be afraid to ask for help when you need it.
yeah,
If you
there's
need
that.
somebody, tell somebody.
Yeah, that's right. There's that too.
Yeah.
But if you don't, if you don't make some investment in yourself, which for me was not easy, especially early in my career.
Mm-hmm.
I think back in my 20s, 30s, and even 40s, and it was just, yeah, I mean,
I think sometimes it's a little bit of a learned skill from a career standpoint.
oh, it big time was
Because
for me.
I used to invest. I can tell you, I put my family on the back burner at times. I just work.
Yep.
And Don would have to realign me frequently. Like, hey, I just need a phone call. I made
Yeah.
dinner. I mean,
Right.
we were the opposite roles because he was always the cook and stuff.
Yeah, yeah,
And I remember those days. He's like, listen, you missed the soccer game. You missed this. He's
right.
working nights. He's like, I need, we need to fix this. Like,
Yeah.
you need to get it together kind of thing.
Oh,
And he was
yeah.
always kind, but firm. And I was like, okay, he grounds me. He kind of, you need a reset.
Yeah.
And what are your priorities here? And I was like, okay.
Yeah. Oh,
know.
I stayed in the doghouse a lot with Rhonda. I can tell you, I can tell you right now. Well, and back in the day before cell phones, before
Yeah, of
even
course,
before fax
yes.
machines and all that, I mean,
Yes.
life was dramatically harder. And I was running retail companies, and retail's retail. I mean,
We didn't have texting. We
No,
didn't have cell
no,
phones.
no.
People are like, "What? You didn't have what?"
Yeah.
But yeah,
No
you
internet.
didn't. No, like you're on
Yeah.
a landline, and when you're on your way home, there is no contact. They don't know if
Yeah.
you left, didn't leave. Are you
That's
in a
right.
meeting?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's right. Yeah.
Yep.
There wasn't any of that Life 360 stuff where Rhonda knows where I'm at all the time now.
Yeah.
So
It's funny, and you talk about that. We, Don and I have, I put where he can see me on the
Mhm.
road, like
Yeah.
because I'm always
Right.
traveling, and so
Yeah.
he can tell if there's an accident or anything.
That's
And
right.
people are like, "That's weird. He's stalking you." I said, "No, I
Yeah.
think it's a positive thing. It's a safety thing. I know
That's
where
right.
he is. He knows where I am. If something happened, I can't reach him. It shows me exactly where he's at,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And we're so low. We're high trust. We don't worry about that.
Yeah, we
But
do too.
it's funny now because inevitably I'll say I'm on my way, and I walk down the hall, and either Cheryl or Megan, I'll go, "Hey, I need to update you just really quick. I'm heading out the door." And then 30 minutes later,
Yeah.
and so Dawn the other day, I was like, I'm on my way. And then I went and stopped and talked to Cheryl. Good 35 minutes.
Right.
Get in the car, and all I open my phone, it just says liar.
Yeah. Right.
And I was like, okay, I'm not on my way, but I am really
Right.
in the car now. And he goes, I'm watching you.
Yeah, I was on my way. I left my office. I didn't make it to the parking lot, but
And then I forgot one day he's like, just checking on you because I think you left your phone on your desk. It's still at City Hall.
yeah.
I was like, okay. And I just called him. I went, okay. Okay, bro. Nah,
Yeah.
bro.
Yeah.
You know?
Right.
So anyway.
Well,
but
there's a leadership. I mean, there's some big leadership points in it. I can go into any city if I've been working with them for any length of time, and especially obviously the people that I've gotten to know, and I can tell when people aren't taking care of themselves.
right.
I mean,
It's very obvious.
Yeah, you can
Yes.
tell just by looking at people that, man, they need a break. They need something. And so I think it speaks to our role as leaders. How well are we serving our people when we see those things?
Right.
Do we address it at all? Do we just ignore it and say, well, that's their problem? Or do we sit down and have the hard conversation? Maybe it may not be
Yeah.
hard, but maybe it's hard of saying,
Yeah.
hey, listen, I notice you are here. When I get here and I get here early, and when I leave and I leave late, you're still here. What's going on here?
Yeah. Yeah. And it's and I'm thankful because I've got leaders that care, and they're noticing, and I know for my boss, I went for the first time in my career, I never admit if I'm buried. Never. You just manage it and you work through it because you're always buried, right? I think I mentioned this to you because I was questioning myself if I should even say anything
Mm-hmm.
because I'm at a high level and everybody's busy, not just me. But I was very much, I mean, like weeks behind on just not being able to get stuff done. One, I can't stand being a bottleneck for my teams or my teammates. Two, I don't want to act like I'm more busy than anybody else when this city is running 90 to nothing all the time. But I think ultimately when I talk to you and I'm like, I think I just need to, I think I'm just, there's just too much and I cannot get this all done in the moment, not forever.
Yeah.
And I think you said, well, why wouldn't you want to tell them? And how would you say it? And we just chatted I mean, minutes, not a long time. And I'm like, yeah, I just think I need to tell them. And I went to my boss and I said, listen, for the first time in my career, I'm over, I forgot what the word I used. Not overwhelmed. It wasn't because I'm not worried about it. I literally just can't get to everything and something is going to be impacted negatively at the end of the day.
You didn't want to
feel
be
it coming.
you didn't want to be the speed bump in the whole thing.
And so I said, I've just got there's just too much. I cannot get to it all. And something's got to give at this point. And I was really honestly worried initially, but we have won a good relationship and she knows I never have done this. And I told her it was really hard for me to even say it because I don't want it to be perceived as a weakness that I can't manage what's on my plate. So it's this internal battle I struggle with because I'm super high performer, high energy. I take on everything, it just doesn't worry me. It's just, I kind of live in that environment and kind of like it. Right. But it was too much. And there at the end of the day, and she took it to heart and she's like, okay, I need to know what you can let go of. And here's some ideas I have. Right. And so she said, because she knows I'm a processor too. So it was hard enough to come to her to say it. And then it was like, okay, what can we take off your plate? And we talked about, should we take departments off the plate? Should we take these processes off the plate? Should we, and then what is temporary and what is permanent? Right. So all of those things we talked about, and we're weeks in, and she's kind of letting me navigate that because I said, I'm feeling better now. I've got a control over it because there was lots of challenges on the project I'm working on that's demanding a substantial amount of time. But I also know that will shift and die off as we move further along. It's going to be less me and more team that they're involved and engaged in it. So, but at the end of the day, leadership, that was the biggest thing I appreciated in leadership. We all have moments. And you don't want to be judged in that. If you're a high performer, you hope your reputation, your credibility count at that point. I call it credits. You have put credits in the bank for them to know who you are and what you're capable of, that when you need to use a credit, I need a credit. Lisa needs a credit today. I need to cash in because I can't do this pace right now and this volume of things right now. I need help. That's hard to say, Randy. I don't know about you.
Big time.
Super hard for me to admit, but I appreciate that it was listened to and they're taking it seriously. She has not let go. She's like, Lisa, I need that list. I need that list.
Right.
You cannot keep up at this pace. I appreciate what you're doing. You cannot keep going, at these 14-hour work days, or you're going to run yourself into the ground. And Don is saying the same thing. He lets me because he knows I'll manage it over time, but he is concerned and he does let me sleep when I need to sleep. And, it's just leadership needs to appreciate that. And the same thing to our project team. I told the leaders the same thing. I said, you need to be very watchful the further we move. Your teams are putting 20 and 30 hours in on the project and have to do their own daily work. You need to be very aware if they're saying they're tired and stressed. There are times you need to walk away, go take a walk, take a half a day off, take Monday, just look down the road. Doesn't have to be today, doesn't have to be next week, but you need to take some time off and refresh your mind. So self-care is critical.
Yeah, it's hard to come to the realization that, that we are a finite resource. Because I remember being, especially in my 20s and 30s, and even into my 40s, because I'm a stress junkie, a little bit like you.
Yeah.
And
you almost thrive in it, right?
Oh, yeah,
you
big
look
time.
forward to it. And if I'm idle, I get restless.
Yeah. But to realize, okay, this probably is not sustainable.
Yeah.
It's hard. I remember a buddy. We were in our 30s. He ends up in the hospital. Stress junkie like me. And he concluded after he got out of the hospital, because he just had a moment. He didn't have a heart attack, but he was fearful that he was having one. It wasn't. I don't know if it was anxiety or what it was. I don't remember. This was a long time ago. But he came out of it, and the conversation was just our realization that, this may not be the smartest approach to life.
Right.
Just going this hard, this fast, 24/7, 365.
Mm-hmm.
We might need to manage this resource that is our life a little bit better.
Right.
And so for us, I think that just took learning. I think, to your point, it took figuring that out.
Mm-hmm.
But man, I would say the sooner you can figure that out, the better. I do think it's one of the positive things about today's workforce. I think today's workforce embraces this proverbial work-life balance way better than my generation did.
Right.
Which I think is a good thing. Not everything is positive, but not everything was positive about my generation either.
Mm-hmm.
I still lament that merit and personal accountability have really eroded
Mm-hmm.
in the past decade, and hopefully that makes a resurgence, because it's super important.
Yeah.
It's way better than being a victim. So yeah, we don't want to be a victim to our own, workaholism or whatever, however else you would describe it. So, and there are times, to my point with my grandson, there are times that we need to call an audible in our life because somebody else needs us.
Right.
And if we don't have any resources to marshal up in that moment, then okay, we can't be of service to them.
Yeah. And I was the same. I think you and I had it on just different days, but might have been same week, because I was out with my mom.
Yep.
She went into the hospital, double pneumonia. She's 83, not good with long haul COVID. Her lungs are very, very weak already. And can the hospital take care of her? 100%. But I needed to be there.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't work. I mean, normally I'll work every day, but there was just too much going on, and I wanted to be present and available. Normally, like I said, I'd take my computer, I'd pull it up, I'd work, but I've got teams now that I can rely upon, and I appreciated the directors checking in on me and saying, we got it. Take care of your mom. We're good here. So it's really nice to have those relationships established and built, that we can, one, as a leader, take care of our teams, and then two, as a leader, our teams take care of us.
Thanks for watching and listening to Grow Great, the City Government Leadership Podcast. Our website is growgreat.com. For Lisa Norris, I'm Randy Cantrell. We hope you'll subscribe to the show, and we hope you'll tell a friend.